Hello, good day, good night, good evening, depending on what time you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another episode of House of Stars. I'm your girl Star, and today I'm taking you on a journey with me. We are going to the Botanica. So, as you know, just passed was Shun and Yemiya's feast day. So I didn't get a chance to get everything because it was a lunar eclipse, and usually typically during the lunar eclipse it's not a good time to manifest or anything. So I was waiting until after that energy passed and do something on the 9/9 portal. As you know, I love Oya and I'm an Oya, so I was gonna do it on that day. So joining with me, I'm gonna go get some stuff, show you what to buy and things like that, and what are some things that are hits and misses at the Botanica? Because sometimes you go to Botanica, some things are novelty, especially if you're a beginner or whatever the case may be. But in reality, what can you do with the items that you have there if you're on a big budget or if you're on a small budget? So journey with me as we go to Botanica right now. Catch the fit. It's fall time, so my Oya poncho comes out. Oh, I love this elevator because it's just mirrors from all different angles. But yeah, I just stopped at the 5th floor and just cramped myself, and all that. The only reason why I'm trying to show y'all my fit. Like, that ain't cool. I'm going outside. Listen, fall's my weather, eh? I love fall. Like, I love fall and I love spring. Like, those transitionary seasons. My birthday is coming up, guys. Scorpio season. So, and it's a big milestone birthday for me. So I'm actually excited. You know, it's like I don't know. I don't. How do I say this? Like, I feel more like a woman every day than I did yesterday. Like, they always say like that people are always afraid of getting older, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, I don't mind looking younger, but I'm not afraid of getting older. And there's just something about when you are about to turn 40 or get into your 40s, like that's when you really come into being a woman and feeling like a woman. And for me, I'm like, I've never felt more of myself and more sure of who I am and more sure of what I want, and I'm more sure of where I stand in this world and my goals and my and who I am to service others than I ever felt in the last year and the year going into my 40s. Like, I'm like, there's just certain things I just don't stand for anymore at all, where I would always be silent or not say anything or be like, okay, I have to do this or I have to say this. And I'm like, no, like, if I don't feel like it nourishes me or keeps me in a space of feeling at peace or keeps me in a space of feeling that I could be my natural loving, caring, and nurturing myself without having to guard myself, then it's not for me. So I don't know if anyone has milestone birthdays or anything like that, or if you're going through a transitionary stage in your life. I feel like the jump between 39 to now, it's been like remarkable. Like, self-love on 10. God damn, I had to make a little detour, make a pit stop because there was an appointment that I had to go to that I forgot that I did. So here we are, we're in the lovely Kensington market. Personally, one of the best botanicas that are actually in Toronto is in the Taylor's market. Sorry, Kensington market. So I'm here, but first I'm hungry as shit. So I'm gonna actually go hit up my spot I always come to every time, which is like this authentic vegan Viet spot, and get some food there. Alright, so here's Saigon House. Here they have the best food ever. I come here every single time I come to get stuff at the Botanica, which I haven't come in a while, but yeah, this is the place. So I want to come here and eat quick. I don't know. I have to pick up my son from the bus soon. So I'm kind of debating time management situation right now. If I should go, I'll pick up what I need to pick up today because there's only a couple things I need to pick up. But I'm thinking tomorrow I'll come back again, just because I want to give you guys like a full tour and something like a guide that you guys can go on. Thanks. Making it useful for you guys. So I'm gonna go in and pop in quick. Just give you a couple things that I'm getting today for myself, which is for Yamiya and Ashin, and I'll come back tomorrow morning and do a whole thing. Plus, I should also get permission from them if I can actually film in there, because I don't even know if I can. So let's just do that. But you're journeying with me today, so things don't always go as planned. Okay, so I got the jacama peanut. Jacama and peanut. This is my go-to roll that I get every time. But it's so yummy. Look at that, look at that, look at that. And their peanut sauce here is fire. See, the sauce is so good that I'm so greedy. Now I'll eat the sauce. I'm like eating little peanuts out of it. I'm just waiting for a main entree right now. Which I got I was so greedy I didn't even get to show you guys the menu. But I got the vegan platter. So you're gonna see it. It's a good amount of food and it's like you get really full off of it. But I got that. And okay, so my phone was vibrating, but look at that. Hold on, let me just check it out. Look at that. Look how good that looks. All vegan. So this is, I think, the tofu. And that's the barbecue season. That's some kimchi. And that's crispy tofu. Sweet and sour tofu. And then this is like a light super thin. Bro, the bombest food ever. Okay, so I finished eating. My ass is full. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to, I'm gonna just grab my candles for today. And just as I was talking about all my feast day stuff I'm doing, my girl just messaged me. She's like, yo, I need you to do offerings for me at the water. So I'm like, okay. So everything is happening for a reason. So I came down here, I'm just gonna get the 2 candles I need for tonight. And likely when they usually ask me to get candles before I do a feast day, what the fuck is it? Before I do a water offering is because I gotta know exactly what I'm petitioning at the water and how I'm petitioning it. So like, by having those candles lit on their altar, it's like I get to channel the messages I need to know, so I know what to position, and how I'm petitioning it, and what I actually have to bring for office. So now I realize why they brought me down here and they told me to come down here in the first place. I'm like, child, like I'm not even gonna do a whole video. Like, I'm not gonna have time for that. But now I see. But tomorrow, we will be coming back because that's where we will be filming the actual, or recording rather. So I'm trying to act like I'm some big time blood clot production. I am not. Recording the actual Botanica visit. So this is International Herbs. This spot I've been going to for many, many years. Half of y'all that's gotten spiritual work with me for over the years. This is where I come and buy your stuff. This guy's walking in front of me, but this is right here in Kensington. Let me film this properly. They have everything here. The people that own it are absolutely amazing and I've been coming here for years. Good folks. Okay, so I got the goods. So I just got 2 candles and 2 oils. At this place, some of the oils, like sometimes you can just buy like the Orisha oil and they have like a pre-make one that like is in line with the Orisha. But there was another one that there's also like basic oils where I got him to freestyle something for me that was like for a shun. And I got some incense and stuff like that. So I'll show you guys everything when I get home. But I gotta hurry up now because my baby's bus is coming, so I don't want to miss that. So I'm gonna go grab him. And the next footage you'll see, it will be me going through the Botanica and showing you the herbs and the must-haves that you should have at home. And next to that, we are gonna go to the water as well. So it's gonna be an early morning because if I'm gonna film this all before my son comes home from school, I'm gonna have to get my ass up early. I'm home now, so if you hear TV in the background, don't mind. My baby's home, so he's watching his after-school programs or whatever the case may be. But for starters, I want to show you my products that I got. I just have some vinegar water in this, just because I like to clean off my candles and stuff before I use them, just so that you know, candles get passed through many hands. People looking at them, how they're poured, when they're packed and everything. So you want to make sure that all the old energy off of that is clean, because think about it. If you're going to manifest new things, might as well clean with all the old things. Usually I have to use photo water, but I don't have any. Vinegar works just as well. Good. So I got the Ashun candle, as you can see. Ta-da! So this is her basic Spirit of the River. That's her candle. And I got this freestyle mix, which is Shower of Gold, Fruit of Life. Oh shit. Fruit of Life, a Crown of Success. It smells so stinking good. But okay, here we got Yummy Ass candle as well. So I'm cleansing it off. I just got her the standard oil. The standard Yummy Ass. Oh, don't mind because my nails are not done. So this is the Goddess of the Sea. They're made by This is not Seven Sisters. Okay, they're made by Indio Products, which if you know, you know. Indio Products has been making products for Botanicas for years. Like since I was a kid. Like I remember my dad buying Indio Products friggin' the aerosol sprays. Like for years they've been in business. So they have their Yummy Yacht oil in their signature. They didn't have a shun, so that's why I just made him freestyle just elements of her, especially what I wanted to achieve with her and stuff like that. So that's why with the shun, it's showers of gold, fruit of life, and crown of success. Like when I think of all those things, that's the shun. So that's what I got. I got this. And then I just got some basic incense because this is just my meditation stuff. So when I meditate with the Orishas, so that they give me an idea of like what their essence is and what the essence and the energy they're coming in with this year, like to be able to worship and everything like that. Because I go based on like every year has a theme, every month has a theme, right? So I got some honey rose. This one is for Shun. Just because I'm all about like flowers right now, giving myself my flowers and all that stuff. And when I just think of flowers, I think of her, and honey's her thing. And then I just got good luck. This is just the essence of everything that has to do with good luck, because a lot of my clients that I've been having now are going through situations where they need luck on their side. So I thought I got pick this up. And then I got 7 African powers. So these are just like the generic blend for anything that has to do with the Orishas in general. So I got that one because of course they don't have at this store, they don't actually have the specific Orishas. I don't work with incense that often because I usually work with incense only when doing, like I do put them on my altar, but I work with them mainly when I'm doing Reiki. But like I've been like really working incense lately because I've been seeing how much they've really been working and like the effect the Orishas are having when I'm using it. So yeah, these are the 3 I got as well. So that's what I'm starting off with. All right, good afternoon. So I'm crossing the street. Okay, so we are picking up where we left off. It is a 9/9 portal today. Beautiful day. Very Oya energy. We're coming out after the eve of Yemia and the Shiv's feast day, which I said, like, of course I'm going to be doing offerings for that. But right now I'm on the way to Botanica so that I can record for y'all some must-haves that you can get at the Botanica and what to look for, what to identify, that are things that you need, basic things that are quick, easy, run to type of herbs, products, and whatever that you should have, especially when you need to do a quick candle, a quick protection, a quick money candle, whatever the sort may be or whatever is happening in your life, that is something that is quick and easy and something you can always have on hand. Like, of course, there's such thing as kitchen witches, like that they can just use whatever's in their shelf. But most of all, when you are going to Botanica, I want to give you guys an idea of what you guys can buy and have so that you're making your trips useful and getting more bang for your buck. So journey with me as I walk. I'm trying to find, I gotta drop off this thing. I took my dogs to get groomed on the weekend, so I gotta give her back her little thing before she put on my dog's ears because she had to get cut really low, so I have to go drop it off before I head on my way. So journey with me, y'all. Don't mind me, I'm just waking up. Well, it's my first time out of the house today other than taking my son to the bus, so yeah, I'm still waking up in some ways. So I dropped off the little thing. I was just talking to one of the girls. I'm thinking about getting my daughter, my dog died, and putting like a cool pattern on her, because on the weekend we had a festival in the neighborhood and she had her cat out and they were all dyed and cute and everything, and I was like, oh my god, I'm thinking of doing the same thing, because like my dog Prince, he has white patches and she's fully white, so I was like, I don't know, but I'm thinking of a design. I don't know what to do or if I should make them. I think she did like the galaxies on her cat. But yeah, I'm figuring out a design I want to do with the dogs and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see, I'm almost there. Just gotta take a streetcar. It looks like I'm about to miss the streetcar, but it is what it is. I'll just catch the other one. It's not like I don't have time or anything like that. so we're in Kensington Market. We're back here again. Just walking down the road. Walking back to the Botanica so that I can show you some stuff in there. I always get confused. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this corner I turn right on. Yeah, it's not this corner. Okay. So we're going back up there right now. So we're here. We've arrived. So I'm just walking up to the store right now. I just want to double check and let them know that I'm going to be reporting while I'm in there. Just out of respect. So yeah, let me get in. There's the Botanica. I'm back again. Like I asked you yesterday, it's cool if I vlog in here, right? Huh? Is it cool that I vlog in here? Yeah, don't worry. He doesn't want to be in it. As long as he's not in it, he's cool. Okay. So I'm going to start from the door, I guess. Like, I know every setup, obviously, every Botanica has a different setup. But we're going to start from, like, just whatever's here and then what necessities and stuff and going from there, okay? So let's do this. So most Botanicas, you see them have these chime candles, right? They're like these little small candles. When I would see people that would like to use these candles on like big manifestations and things like that. These are usually like typically for me like a chime candle or an altar candle or for like a small request. That's the only reason why you should be going for candles this tiny. You know what I mean? If you're dealing with an actual serious situation, for example, depending on what it means, or you're trying to attract money, you got to think about the longevity and how consistent you want the energy to flow for. So something like this, for example, doesn't flow for so long. But again, I usually say to get a good manifestation out, anything that burns 4 hours or more is typically ideal to kind of help something manifest along, okay? Okay, so now you got all of these, the vinegars. Now, for me, as a seasoned practitioner, some of the stuff I find to be very, like, it's very, like, novelty. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're not useful stuff, but they definitely are. Working with certain spirits, like ammonia, working with things, and spirits, obviously, you're talking about, like, it's not water-based, but it's water, right? So these type of things are usually good to run away any kind of evil entities or spirits or anything like that. Like spirit ammonia, you could sprinkle this at your door, especially if you have any negativity or you feel like anyone's projecting negativity to your space. You can always put this at the parameters of your door. Spirit of turpentine. I've never really used this before, but this is a really good one as well to use. I know a lot of people use it like, I think they mix it with war water, or they use them in war situations. And then, of course, you see these oils like palo oil. You know what I mean? These are things that are mystified in the air. So when it comes to anything that's air-based energy, say, for example, people will do magic and do an overabundance of magic. You know how people use sage, right? Like people do an overabundance of magic in a space or place, or especially if there's a space that has a lot of fighting or energies like that are air-based, you will go for these oils. And you can always put them in water, like on a pot, and just boil it in the space and just let it like ruminate within the space. But this is what these kind of stuffs are good for. If you want a good take or a different take on sage or cleansing out any space, you can go for the oils and the ammonias as well. Vinegars are really good. Of course, vinegars are with anything that has to do with cleansing. As you can see, there's different powders. Powders, you can use them to either sprinkle in certain places. Of course, you got to set your intentions, or you can actually add it inside of a sachet when you're working with it. And then you have these small powders here. I don't really work with powders. The only powders I really work with are, for example, cascarilla. I usually use powder when it comes to me setting boundaries when using anything. The next one too is hydron is good. You could always sprinkle it on your floor and then sweep it up, or you can put it in a sachet, or you can use it in a space or place. So say, for example, if you want to be discreet at work or something. Okay, so now we're looking at the powders, right? So these things, I like to call them like the one-stop shop, like kind of like your pocket witch type of shit, right? So for example, you know, if you were at a workplace and stuff, you want to sprinkle this. Like if you have a physical space where you do your work, you could sprinkle it under the register, places that you keep money. You could sprinkle this on yourself for commanding or something like that. Frightening the dead. Okay, again, when it comes to powders are typically things that or Creole things to have when you want to actually set boundaries or you want to enforce any force within the space. Because when you think about chalk, right? Chalk draws a line, right? Same thing with powders, right? So think about that in retrospect when it comes to using your powders and things like that, and things that you can use on yourself. So that is you setting a seal, setting a boundary of what your intention is. You know what I mean? So yeah. So for example, people would use this like, you know what I mean, in spell work, and they would use that to put it around the perimeter of the candle, or like shape out a sigil with the powder. You know what I mean? But that's usually what powders and stuff are used for. I typically don't use powders. I'd use something like carascaria, which is this carascaria, which this is for you to obviously mark boundaries, or when I'm doing like, if I'm doing big rituals, I would do it for veve and things like that. So it's for protection, protecting the entry points, setting a boundary in your spiritual space when you're working. But going into that, of course, you see blue balls, or I know in different words, but this is what you use for baths. Some people, they like, there's a really good protection, home protection, like talisman you could put. You can use this, and I think you put, it's this with camphor and water at your front doors to protect your home. Because the people have to understand that sometimes when it comes to any negative energy being sent your way, if it can't get to you, it will be in your space, right? So if you are a spiritual person, you want to make sure you are protecting your space from what comes in and what goes out as well. So there's some stones here too, of course. There's a limited amount here, especially in this Botanica, but you can obviously use the stones to wear on yourself. But again, you can also put them alongside your candle to amplify the candle. Okay, so those are like just like the basic stuff that you can get when it comes to, I would say we're starting from setting intentions to setting your boundaries, and now we're going into the essence of amplifying. But I'm really big about, obviously clearing out the space. For me, like growing up as a kid, it was something that my dad would do usually about the last Sunday of every month, was to burn out the space. I know a lot of people are very familiar with sage, but coming from think about you got to think about your upbringing, your ancestors, like where you came up in, like, you know what I mean? Like sage is not something that's really resonant for me and my ancestors. In ways we would use more resins, right? So because of course a lot of my ancestors are Christian, right? So we use any resins, or we use healing things that have come from the Bible, or usually are mentioned in the Bible, because those are the very things in those verses that ran away evil, right? Brings you to like frankincense and myrrh. As you know, this was an offering to Jesus when Jesus was first born. So this obviously talks about the seal of his birth and life itself, purity and innocence. So if you want a good cleansing on your space, or want to remove evil from your space, frankincense and myrrh. Also Hermes, if for those that work with Hermes, he does take this as an offering. Palo Santo is a really good one, and what people don't realize with Palo Santo, it doesn't only cleanse, it invites. So there are certain sages and certain resins and sages and stuff that you use, or cleansing sticks that you use, that you have to understand that they don't only just repel negativity, they invite. Okay, so you got to know, you have to have discernment when it comes to which one works best for you. That's why you should go for frankincense and myrrh, because I'm all about just cleansing out the space and in general, and anything I don't want invited gets out when I use that. So here's sulfur. Again, some people use it when it comes to rituals to cast evil, or they do it to repel evil. They can do both of them. Menthol crystals is similar to camphor. Why is my head not working right now? So yeah, just work. You got to figure out which one works the best for you and what your intentions and what you're setting to do. So when you go to the clerk, especially if they're one that educated in the projects they sell, make sure that you're very specific about your situation, so that they suggest the right thing that works for your situation. So then we got clones, of course. These are certain scents that you can wear, like Abra Camino. That's to open up your roads, make it easy for things to come to you. A lot of people use clones. For example, in my culture, they use it more or less when they're going to court or things like that, or they want to attract money. So those are the things. 7x7 is a really good one too. That's an all-purpose one. And that's like the holy grail. You can get that in oil, and you can also get it in cologne. And it's really freaking good. Again, floor washes. I always say, for every time that you sage your place or cleanse your place, bro, make sure you also cleanse the floors, because you have to understand that when it comes to your feet and when you walk or where you stand is very important. That is your foundation in life, which the floor is what's keeping you up, right? So if you're going to sedge the air, you should be also taking into consideration and also protecting and cleansing your floor. So there's a number of different ones that are here. My go-to, honestly, because it cleanses everything, is Chinese floor wash. Chinese floor wash is better. The green one is more for money, so it cleanses away the negativity, but it also brings in prosperity. But I like going for the white one because it's multi-purpose. So it cleanses, like it gets everything. Another good thing that's good for cleansing away negativity is Carolina. But Carolina, you don't usually see them too much in Toronto that often because they're very expensive. Okay, so Florida water. Now we already know this is the amethyst of all spiritual items to must have. As you know, how amethyst is very multi-purpose, so is Florida water. So Florida water is really good at cleansing any spiritual items that you may have or spiritual spaces, because a lot of things that people don't realize, that spiritual hygiene is number one. I've had tons of clients or people come to me where they feel like they were under attack, and half of the time it's not even that they're under attack, it's that they have dirty altars and they haven't cleansed their space from the work they've done previously, and now the energies are clashing or combating or repelling each other in some way. So this is the holy grail. This is a must have. This is what I always say that people should must have is Florida water, because that is really good for cleansing, of course, also for attracting. And if you give to the ancestors, that's an offering that you should give to them as well, is Florida water. So again, these are different washes and things like that, whether you can use it in bath or on your floor. These are really good things to have. So anything that has to go in water, so cleansing, attracting. But I always say, for everything that you want to bring in, make sure you cleanse out first. Now these are for specific situations. I rarely have ever been attracted to buying these candles because, to be honest, if you're good at divining wax, which I'm not always all the time, I don't usually go for these kind of candles, because if you're like, I used to have friends that are really good. Well, not used to, I still have friends with them. But even they're really good at divining wax. So like if I light a candle or whatever, I would make them divine the wax. So I don't really go for these. I divine better when it comes to flames and the candle glass and things like that. But these are different ones that you can use. People use this for other people, for their target. Of course, as you can see, there's the male and the female ones. There's ones that there are couples that are together. There's ones that are people that try to separate people as well. And then there's our penis candles, of course, or vagina candles. You can use them with whatever way you can. Like, for example, I've used these before for people in the sex industry. I used to use these candles a lot to help them attract clients and stuff. But yeah, so these are the figure candles, which are a really good one to work with as well. So you got your candles. So every candle, you have to understand, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody that's doing their house with their own shots, but you have to understand that there is nothing special when it comes to oils in these candles other than they have the print of the picture on it. So depending on, say, for example, people will work with different saints and stuff, they like to have the prayer card because that represents a picture of them, but you could still petition the saint or orisha or whatever just the same. So say, for example, if you go to the Botanica and the candles are more out of your price range or too expensive, just get the actual color candle of that orisha or spirit that you work with, which you could always Google and figure out which color works with that. But these are 7-day candles. I usually work with these often, especially when I'm working with clients that have big situations. You want to work with 7-day candles, and there's different ways to obviously divine the candle. If it comes up dark, if it cracks, how the flame burns, if a flame comes up on the side, whatever the case may be. But yeah, these are a number of different candles that you can get. But again, if it's out of your budget, just get a solid candle that is associated with their color or saint or intention. For example, if you're working on something that you need passion, you can work with red. If you're working with you need confidence, you can work with blue. If it's money, green. You know what I mean? White, obviously multi-purpose, right? So yeah, this is other things you can get as well. more. Here we go. So we got more things that you can put up in your sachets. People use dolls or whatever. Veve bags or Greekity bags, sorry. What is it, Veve bags? That they use that. I'm not really a talisman bag type of chick, so to speak, but these are really good ones you can have. A must have is High John the Conqueror. This one keeps away evil. And of course, if you're in a situation where you need an upper hand on the enemy, that's something that you can actually carry with you. Low John, I always say, you're going to court, that is your go-to herb. If you want things to go in your way, in your favor, get Low John. Let's see, lodestone. Okay, now I'm gonna actually, these are lodestones. Now these are dope. Okay, so as you can see, it's a rock. I'm gonna try to take out one without, okay. So as you can see, it's a rock, right? And it's a magnetic rock with sand. So what you usually do when you work with lodestones, they're good for, it sounds repelling evil, but I usually use it for attraction because, right, you want it for magnetic, right? So you can always put these in your sachet or in your wallet with money or whatever the case may be, and that makes it easier for money or finances or whatever to actually be attracted to you. So lodestones are really cool. Very common thing that you can find in botanicas and in spiritual work and stuff like that. Don't mind my dirty nails. I don't give a fuck. I'm real. But these are how my nails look. Vesta powder. Oh my God. I love working with this stuff. If the shit around you feels stagnant or things are not moving the way they're supposed to, get you some Vesta powder, bro. Get it on some charcoal and just burn that bitch. Set your intention, and that's gonna help get things moving. I'm actually gonna buy some of that because I have a client that needs that for sure. So I'm hoping this is helpful. Like, I don't want to be just kind of like product dumping, so to speak, but the whole idea is when you come to the Botanica, you want to be able to get the things or have things on hand that are associated and affiliated with what you're trying to manifest. I always say that's very important because I always see people doing manifestation work and they don't realize where they do things and they're either crossing their self or they're conflicting in ways, and then they get a blockage and then they try to tell themselves, oh, I'm cursed, somebody's doing work on me, oh my God, they're throwing at me. And it's just like, you're your own worst enemy sometimes. Like, you do your magic, right? Know exactly what the hell that you need. Okay, so this is why it's good to actually go to a spiritual person, somebody that's educated, somebody that's qualified, that actually has the best intentions for you. It's like going to the doctors, right? And you have a cold or you're sick. They're going to obviously run tests and see exactly what the problem is first. So make sure you guys are actually getting spiritual diagnoses on these things before you actually just go out and buy these things. Because let me tell you something. Magic is not something to play with. You can fuck yourself more than the person you're trying to fuck. So I always tell people, especially coming up and people that I'm trying to teach, that make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know what you're qualified for, and stay within your means. But before you service others, make sure you service yourself and be able to help yourself and be able to find your own sickness before finding others. Okay? All right. Okay, so we obviously have incense. Incense is what you can use to either amplify the candle work you're doing, or you could just burn them in general in your house or by your altars. That's always good. I actually really like this one, which is unlock. I'm going to do that one. What's another one I'm going to get? You never can go wrong with Dragon's Blood. This is a very generic one. Dragon's Blood is for protection, cleansing, amplifying, bringing luck and attraction. So it has a multiple use. You have to understand if you see something or herb or an incense or something that has multiple use, that if the intention is not set on it, that means you cannot say that it's working for you or not. Make sure that your intentions are always in alignment with the herb or the product or the oil or whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so we have soaps as well. This is for everyday use. You can have it for everyday use, or if depending on the situation, you want to keep your energy cleansed and in alignment. Me, myself, I need to stock up on herbs. So there's a number of different selections here that I like to have in my apothecary, so that for clients or for myself, I have these things on hand. When it comes to herbs not only have spiritual benefits, but they also have homeopathic benefits for yourself. So I like to keep these things at home for myself, for my son, I make teas, I make blends, things like that, all types of stuff, whether for myself or my clients, family members. So I'm actually pretty low on a lot of stuff. So I am going to pick out stuff. So usually I make them a list and they can just get through what I need. So this is the number of different herbs. I'll show you a couple just to you get an idea. So hyssop, of course, is always biblical. Is a biblical one, which is where is this? Oh gosh, is a biblical one. It's used in the Bible, as the Psalm verse goes. Clean me with hyssop and make me as white as snow. That's really good for cleansing. Comfrey, I like to use comfrey as well. A lot of people use it for money, but for me, it's a shedder. So comfrey actually strips the aura, strips things, negativity off your aura. So it's a really good thing to put in baths. And then we got horsetail. If you have any emotional debris or going through any emotional situations of any sort, or you feel like it's hindering you or a situation, horsetail's a really good one to work with. Okay, and there we go. These are the hairs being packed up. Okay, so I got the, hold on. Okay, so I got the goods. I got everything and I got what I needed. So I was going back to the last thing I mentioned about, oh, people think they're throwing at me. I think for me, coming on the other end, and I know you guys know there was a time I took a hiatus for a little bit. That's because I took time to get my crowning, things like that, and be educated. And some of these ideologies are ones that I was victim under as well. So I'm not gonna sit here and judge anybody, of course, because of it, because I used to fall into the same spectrum as well. But we have, right now, since the time I've been away, there's, I think, what's it called, witch talk, where there's a number of these like psychic witches are online, and they have like entities, things like that, attaching energy, swords and compactions all around them, because they're not actually following the rule of thumb, education of respect, or what actually goes behind when one is given the ability to wield their sword and do whatever. That's why I say, like, a lot of you guys get your Prodinos and your mothers that you go to, you know what I mean, that guide you, that actually care about you. It's not that they're trying to get a money grab, and actually learn this craft properly. Because I'm seeing so many different cases of people like throwing at people. It's like, get over yourself. You know what I'm saying? You cannot use ego in magic. You want to use your ego in magic, you'll get sunned very, very quickly. I've watched people in this industry that I've grown to respect and everything like that have like ruined their lives, or not even, when good things happen to them, they're not even able to enjoy it because in context of the things that they've done to get it. Like, all shit is not good shit, right? But to each his own. I'm not here to tell you what you should be doing. I'm just going on and representing what it is that the integrity of how I work and move within the realms and things like that. Each his own, but whatever floats your boat. I'm just coming from a space of being a spiritual mom myself and having daughters that are under me that, you know, they come, like, they're beautiful girls and very, very powerful, very, very talented, like, strong as shit. It's just that they just need to, you know, they're still learning how to, like, work with the gift that they have. Of course, like, I'm a mom, they're a child in the game, right? So, and I always get on them when they get into the shit, and I'm like, man, like, you gotta know when the devil's actually playing a trick on you, because we have to understand, you cannot be open to the spiritual world and not be open to everything that comes with it and not know what you're up against. Like, I know there's practitioners out here that are afraid of entities. Like, what the fuck are you doing this work if you're afraid of entities? Nigga, that's what you're gonna be up against. You know what I mean? Oh, like, they're doing black magic on me. It's like, not everybody can do black magic on everybody. Again, what are you scared for? Why are you in this industry if you don't think that's something that you it's like a fucking surgeon scared that blood's gonna splatter on his fucking coat. You're a surgeon. Of course that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I like to say that within everything that I educate and show people what to do, I make sure that whatever I share, that I'm giving it to the right person that knows how to wield it. You know what I mean? Okay, so now I'm at a restaurant. I'm treating myself some all-you-can-eat sushi. Yeah, I'm like, usually I like to have nice, good lunches, and then I keep it cute around dinner time. So I'm gonna get some, but I have to bring some for my son because, of course, my son loves sushi. So mommy can't go have sushi without my baby boy and not bring him nothing. But anyways, yeah. So that was a trip to the Botanica. Of course, I just wanted you guys to just have an idea, or just get a preface of what you can look for and what can be useful for you when going to these spaces. But again, okay, so I'm at a restaurant. I just stopped to get some sushi. So I'm doing the all-you-can-eat sushi. You know, you gotta treat yourself sometimes in life. But yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna close out the vlog. I think I pretty much gave you an idea of what to expect when you go into Botanica and what are some things that you're looking for that can actually help you in your daily life. But of course, just always remember the rules of three: love above, so below. So make sure that you are manifesting within guidelines and governance and the things that are all things that are balanced. There is a real guide out here for people to understand that whatever is in physical is usually in spirit as well. But this is only a video to be able to encourage and give people something tangible so that they could take a little bit more control over their life and how things are directed. But most of all, God first in everything that you always do. So I want to thank you guys so much for your time and rocking with me. Happy manifesting, okay? And may God bless you and the angels protect you. Good night, or good day, good night, good evening, depending on where you're watching and what time you're watching this at. A. Right, A. That's an A, and then N. N. What does that say?
Italian.